What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Saturday, June 8th, 2024, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now, it is just after midnight Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from the US. So, earlier yesterday, I reported that the US was considering revising their nuclear weapons policy and expanding their nuclear arsenal. Well, we have some more information coming out from this senior U.S. official in the Biden administration. So let me read to you a little bit more about this. This is huge news. But basically, this senior Biden administration official came out yesterday and openly said that the U.S. is going to have to increase its nuclear arsenal, and apparently Biden has already approved this expansion of the US nuclear arsenal. Now, a few months ago, the US tested a Minuteman III ICBM with three reentry vehicles. This was like in August or September, and I broke the news about that, and I told you guys that that was a sign that the US was going to expand their arsenal. And now we have the Biden administration basically saying that, yeah, we're going to have to expand our arsenal. So I think that they've already started expanding the arsenal. I think that they're considering rearming the Minuteman missiles with the extra two warheads on each one. That's probably the first thing they're going to do because that's the easiest thing to do. Next, they could potentially bring back the four Trident missiles on every Ohio class sub, and there's 14 Ohio class subs. And then they could also rearm the B1s with nuclear weapons as well. Okay, so this is huge news. We also have some major breaking news coming in from Europe and the Middle East and Asia. So let me just start off with this breaking news about the U.S. nuclear arsenal. So, North Korea, China, and Russia are expanding and diversifying their nuclear weapons stockpiles at a breakneck speed, a White House official said Friday, warning that absent a change in the trajectory of their arsenals, the U.S. may have to increase its own. Pranay Vadi, Senior Director for Arms Control, Disarmament, and Non-Proliferation at the National Security Council, made the remarks at a forum, noting that the three countries are driving the U.S. and its allies into bracing for a world where nuclear competition occurs without numerical constraints. Wow, so strong words there. Okay, basically a new arms race is what he's saying is happening now. Russia, the People's Republic of China, and North Korea are all expanding and diversifying their nuclear arsenals at a breakneck pace, showing little or no interest in arms control. He said at the event hosted by the Arms Control Association, a U.S. based nonpartisan organization. Those three, together with Iran, are increasingly cooperating and coordinating with each other in ways that run counter to peace and stability, threaten the United States, our allies, and our partners, and exacerbate regional tensions, he added. The official pointed out that to deal with the realities of a new nuclear era, President Biden recently issued an updated nuclear weapons employment guidance. It emphasizes the need to account for the growth and diversity of China's nuclear arsenal and the need to deter Russia and the Chinese and North Korean arsenals simultaneously. Okay, so he's saying that Biden recently issued updated nuclear weapons employment guidance. Okay, so they're doing this secretly. Vadi warned that the U.S. will need to adjust its posture and capabilities to ensure its ability to deter growing threats from the three countries should there be no change in their current nuclear weapons policy trajectory. Let me be clear, that absent a change in the trajectory of adversary arsenals, we may reach a point in the coming years where an increase from current deployed numbers is required. So I don't think they're going to wait years. I think they're already doing it, but they're saying they're going to do it in a couple of years because they don't want to obviously tip off China and Russia and tell them that we're doing it, right? But it's kind of like a soft warning to Russia and to China and North Korea, Iran. This update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply has brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you got to use the link preparewithnyprepper.com. And the link is in the description below this video. But this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life. It includes over 2,000 calories per day, breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks, all contained within 6 rugged water-resistant buckets, and free shipping is included. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get $200 off or 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply. The link is in the description below this video. Free shipping is included. They also have a general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival products, and they're always running various discounts. And to get to their general store, you just got to click on the My Patriot Supply logo when you get to preparewithnyprepper.com at the top of the page, and you'll see their general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival products, and they're always running discounts here. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video. So this is huge news, guys. Biden issuing updated nuclear weapons employment guidance. Very, very serious. And Vladimir Putin said this week that they could revise their nuclear weapons doctrine. Okay. So this is very serious. We have both Biden and Putin basically saying that they're going to be revising their nuclear weapons doctrine. This is huge, guys. Okay. And in case you missed my update earlier yesterday, we had a Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations plane fly to Kaliningrad Thursday night, which is extremely concerning because these planes only go somewhere if there's an emergency, if they need disaster relief. So this tells me that Russia is preparing for a possible war in Kaliningrad, and maybe they were dropping off supplies, food, water, weapons, fuel, whatever, troops, okay? Very serious. And it landed at a Russian Air Force base, okay, in Kabrovo, just north of the city of Kaliningrad. And then shortly after, just a few hours later, a Russian VIP plane, one of actually Putin's planes, went to Kaliningrad, the Tupolev 214PU, okay? And earlier this evening, we had this MQ-4C Triton U.S. Navy reconnaissance drone fly along the Gulf of Mexico here. And that's very interesting because this is exactly the area where Russian warships are going to be operating in the coming months. We're going to have 4 Russian warships going to Havana, one of them a nuclear-powered submarine that is capable of carrying cruise missiles, lots and lots of caliber cruise missiles, okay? And then this thing was flying along the southern border in Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona before landing somewhere in the Southern California region. So very interesting. We also had a number of U.S. military heavy cargo planes go to Europe earlier this evening. You can see here multiple C-17s and a C-5 Galaxy. Okay, these are heavy lift planes. They're moving massive amounts of equipment to Europe. Okay, and I don't think it's just for Ukraine. I think this is for NATO, because usually when they move stuff into Poland for Ukraine, they use the Transcom planes, okay, the unmarked planes. And for the first time since 2021, a plane of a Syrian airline arrived in Minsk from Damascus. Previously, it transported migrants to Belarus. So, looks like Syria is bringing in migrants to Belarus, and then Belarus is using them as weapons against Poland. Now, a Polish soldier just died from injuries sustained by an attack by a migrant who tied a knife to a tree branch and threw it at the Polish soldier along the Polish Belarus border. And now people in Poland are outraged. And the Polish prime minister is actually going to visit the border with Belarus next week. And he said he's going to update the guidance for Polish soldiers to use deadly force, okay, to make their job easier and to know that they have the support of the government. He's going to show up there and they're going to revise the use of force and the use of deadly force rules that they've been abiding by along that border now, okay? Because a Polish soldier died, so these Polish soldiers clearly need to escalate their force and be able to use deadly force even. So this is huge news, guys. There's a big push in the Polish government now, the Polish parliament, to allow Polish soldiers to fire at these migrants in certain extreme cases. Okay. And this whole situation is going to escalate, but we had this plane fly from Syria to Belarus yesterday, and it obviously had migrants on it. And this is definitely a sign that Belarus is planning something, because what they're going to do is they're going to send a massive flood of migrants to the Polish border. So the Polish military has to focus on that. And then simultaneously, they may try to attack the Suwałki Gap or go into Lithuania or do something else. But this is a sign that Belarus is planning to escalate. And what you're looking at here is some satellite footage of a base in Osipovichi in Belarus, showing the Belarusian military building new garages for Iskander missile launchers. Okay, the Iskander missile launcher is nuclear capable, and you can see here, starting from July last year till May of this year, they were building this giant garage, okay, over the last year, and experts are saying this garage could hold potentially a dozen Iskander missile launchers, okay, and they're all nuclear capable. So this is very, very serious. And here's a picture of that Syrian flight carrying migrants into Belarus that they're going to release to Poland to cause problems for them. And the Swedish Air Force recently practiced emergency landings with their Gripen fighter jets. They practiced landing on public roads to give them extra flexibility in the event of a crisis. Okay, why would they do that? Well, if, let's say, Sweden and Russia go to war and Russia destroys a lot of Swedish airfields and those fighter jets cannot land on the airfields basically become useless. They have to land somewhere, they have to take off from somewhere, so they can actually use highways to do that. Okay, and we know already that Latvia has handed out a civil defense manual for their citizens. And this civil defense manual is like 90 pages long, talking about how to survive fallout and nuclear war and invasion. And just the other day, Germany released a World War III civil defense plan, which was very comprehensive and very, very serious. I went over it in detail last night, actually. So the last live stream that I posted, I went over in detail this World War III civil defense plan. If you want to rewatch it, it's in the first hour or so of my last live stream. And apparently, France has already delivered more Scalp and Storm Shadow missiles and AASM bombs to Ukraine. and this was confirmed by the French president yesterday. And Germany is considering sending another Patriot missile defense system to Ukraine. And Ukraine's civilian death toll has risen to 174 last month, which is the highest in almost a year. And in the East China Sea earlier on Friday, 2 Chinese fighter jets circled a Netherlands Navy frigate, the HNLMS Trump, several times. The Navy frigate's helicopter was approached by 2 Chinese fighter jets and a Chinese helicopter during a patrol. Okay, so very serious, guys. China is now buzzing our allies with their fighter jets. They're getting bold. Okay, and a U.S. B-1 strategic bomber was spotted recently in the Mojave Desert with a 5,000-pound bunker buster bomb under it. The GBU-72 Advanced Penetrator is a 5,000-pound bunker buster bomb that was tested for the first time in 2021. The GBU-72 was created to address the challenges of targeting deeply buried, hardened structures and is suitable for both fighter jets and bombers. So this is huge, guys. Our B-1s are practicing with these bunker busters in the desert of California, 5,000-pound bunker busters, okay? Brand new, just a few years old. You know where they would use these guys? Probably in Iran, to target Iran's missile storage facilities, probably North Korea. Okay, those would be the top 2 targets for these, especially Iran. And Wyoming has reported their first outbreak of the H5N1 bird flu in dairy cows. So this is very serious, guys. We have to keep an eye on it. Okay, the H5N1 is now spreading to multiple states. Minnesota reported their first cases in dairy cows, and there were a bunch of mice in New Mexico that tested positive. And actually, the first person to die of bird flu died recently in Mexico. Okay, so it's spreading, guys. Get prepared. And the situation in the Red Sea is continuing to escalate. The Houthis launched 4 anti-ship ballistic missiles, and they were intercepted by U.S. and coalition forces. This was on Friday, and the U.S. launched airstrikes at 5 drone launch sites. So that's pretty much the latest breaking news that I have for you. And I want to just show you guys this video coming from the border of Belarus and Poland. So this is from the Belarus side of the border, looking through the Polish border fence into Poland. And these migrants here are trying to dig under the fence, which is not going to really work too well for them. But you can see all these migrants here hanging out, camping out. Obviously, they're being allowed to do this by the Belarusian government. Okay, and you can see here they're making some like weapons, or it looks like they have a jack or something. Maybe they're going to try to bend the fence posts. Okay, you can see this fence. It has these slits in it. Okay, it's not a solid fence, and that's how they killed that Polish border guard or Polish soldier. They took a tree branch, tied a knife to it, and threw the branch at the soldier through one of these holes or whatever, these gaps, okay, between these columns. All right, so this is going to escalate. It looks like Belarus is sending a bunch of migrants to the Polish border. They could be getting paid to do this by Belarus. They look like terrorists or bandits or something. Okay, so this is going to escalate because Poland is going to allow their soldiers to use deadly force now. I'm telling you, and they're going to end up shooting these migrants, and it's just going to escalate from there. But I'm going to continue to monitor the situation. I will be back tomorrow with more breaking news. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell icon down below so you get notified when I post these updates. Also, follow me on Telegram and Twitter. I post all my updates over there. And until next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.